I'm going to show you guys how to draw 3 different traditional kind of style panthers. Different kind of angles, different kind of poses. Just really fun to show you really easy just how you kind of do it and how they're slightly different from one another. I'm going to do this on a procreate and it's on the iPads. So let's open up a brand new paper here. I'll select an A4 size. I'm going to select the dark red to begin with. I'm going to go sketching and come down to technical pencil. And that's what I'm going to use to begin with. So we're going to have 3 different ones. So I'm going to have one. It's going to be here. One is going to be here. And one's going to be here. Just like this. Now this one I'm going to have kind of facing towards this kind of way, sort of 3/4 angle. This one's going to be sort of front view. And this one's going to be more like this kind of sort of downward pose like this, I think. So we've got 3 different directions to work with. So let's go straight into this. Now to show the difference, I'm going to put them up all at the same time. So we've got a circle here for this one. And then for this one, I'm going to add a circle around here. This one, I'm going to add a circle pretty much around the center like this. More like an oval kind of shape. And then this one, the oval's going to be here. Just like so. Now this one, I'm going to do a circle down here. It's going to be the chin. And this circle here, it's going to be the chin for this one. And a circle here, which is going to be the chin for this one. It's going to bring a line like this. And a line like this. And just create ourselves like a little kind of box with curved edges, just like this. And that's going to be where the mouth goes. Standing on this side, so it's going to curve like this. And a little straight line just here. So that's where the teeth are going to go. And then this one's going to be slightly different. It's going to have 2 sort of curved lines cutting in to this circle just here. So I've got it done. I'm going to put a circle here. And a little hint of a circle just here. And that's where the eye is going to sit. So if you imagine a line coming through here, just sitting above this kind of circle, you have 2 circles roughly there. On this one, roughly the same kind of positioning. So imagine on top of the circle, again, just to the side, that one's going to be there. And this one's going to be there. So imagine you bring those lines back like so. That's how it kind of cuts into the circle. And it kind of follows that shape. This one, you can have a circle just here. A circle just here. So you can see it's just kind of slightly on the outside of the box, just here. So it's just a little bit wider than that box. Make sure it's not in line with it. You don't make it, it won't look quite, it's kind of in line. So now we've got that, we're going to go for the cheeks. So this one's cheek is going to be roughly around here. So it's kind of sort of like be a circle that kind of cuts in roughly where the eye goes and almost towards this kind of circular area just here, towards the sort of teeth. So that's going to sit there. This one's going to have 2 on the sides. This one's going to fit here. So a circle, within that initial circle, so it's going to fit there and there. And this one, it's going to be here. This one's going to be a little bit more kind of sort of like oval shape. And a little bit higher, so it's coming more like this kind of direction. So it's going to sit roughly around there. So you can see the shape slightly come together now. So now we've got that, you've got to remember the kind of key features. So with the panther, you're always going to get that overlap on top of the eye. So we're going to get this sort of shape here. So I'm going to draw this like kind of sausage kind of shape. It's going to fit above this one. And a little hint as if there's one above that one. Again, this one's going to have the sausage shape, like a curved sausage or a banana. That's going to go there and there. And same with this one. This one's going to kind of fit in this direction. So you can see the structure is very much the same, just in different slightly kind of angles. So you can see that face kind of start to sort of take shape. And as it comes back, it's going to go in towards where the neck is. So this one, you've got this line here, which is going to curve inside cheek. And then this neck is going to curve in between here, curve around that circle, and then curve up there. Don't worry too much about the width. You might adjust it. Just kind of get that roughly in place. And this one, the neck is going to come back off of here. Like here. So it's a different angle. Like this one's kind of curving there. This one's curving there. This one, you can either put a neck at the bottom if you want, or a little bit at the top, but it doesn't usually look right. You normally just have the face. So ignore the neck for the bottom one. Once we have that, we now have the ear. The ear is one of the key features. Because it's one of the few bits as well. You kind of see the colour in it. So what we're going to do is we've got this circle here. It's going to create this loop that kind of fits in this shape. And then once you've got that, just a little line off the top like so. So again, that's going to kind of loop around there and curve around just there. And this one you might get a hit just on the other side as well. So you can play a little line just there, roughly where I go here. Now again, just going up this circle, going to create that loop, bring that line back, create that loop, bring that line back. Oh, just a little bit closer. I'm just going to move this over just a touch. just so they're not exactly touching. So you can see the shapes starting to come together now. So now we need to get those little points that can really sort of tell the definition. One nose is going to be the nose. So imagine where we had this oval shape, we're going to make a curved line like this, and then we're going to create this triangle. So you're going to put a line here, and here. You're going to have this triangle which kind of fits in that section just there. You have the same on this bit, but you're going to create this curve going this way for it. So the triangle fits more kind of here. And here, create this line just here. And then create that triangle again. So that triangle is just going to give us the base for the noses. Once we have that, you have the teeth. Now, to get to the teeth, we kind of need this part of the mouth positioned for us. Because if we draw here, we don't really quite know exactly where we're going to go. So what we're going to do, we're going to come down from here. I'm going to curve off to just down from that triangle. And you're going to curve this back. I'm going to loop in like this a couple of times. Same on the other side. Same on here. So I'm going to come down from that triangle, bring this out, loop around, loop around, loop around. And you're going to get a little bit just on the outside, just here. Same on here. So this is going to go down like this. So down from that triangle. Just curve there, curve there, curve there. Go down, curve there, curve there, curve there. And like I said, don't worry about detail in a minute. We're just putting up the structure. Once we have the structure, we can add all the detail we want. So now we have that. We kind of have this position here where we can add these teeth now. Now the bottom bit's quite easy. We have this kind of curve here. We have this curve here. We have this curve here. So we know where the teeth go for those, which I will show you. So I'm going to start with the upper teeth now. So I'm going to bring this line here, pretty much like a triangle shape. And then I'm just going to create 1 loop, 2 loop, 3 loop, 4 loop. And go into another one which is going to fit just kind of on the edge here. So where you kind of have this part of the mouth here curve, it's going to fit on that corner just there. Again, just here, going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to get the fang, 4 little loops, and then the fang just off the side. Here, I'll bring this down. So I'm going to get the fang, 1 circle, 2 circle, 3 circle, 4 circle. Into the other fang. I'm going to bring that fang over a little bit. I've got him a little bit too much to this side there, I think. This is where sketch is really handy, because you ain't got to worry about getting everything exactly where it needs to be to begin with. You're just kind of giving yourself a map. And now we've got that, we've got the bottom teeth. So I'm going to start with the fang just here, and then go 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't worry if you can't see it quite properly. You're going to see it when we get the line work in. I know we've got quite a few sketch lines in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's going to go in that corner. So you're going to see I've got a little triangle in the corner just there. Little triangle in there and some loops in the bottom. This is pretty much just the opposite reflection of the top teeth. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's base. So now we've got that. I'm just going to bring in this little curved line here, which can go up to the cheeks. So you see it's going from this circle, curving up to this cheek just here. This one can curve here. And it's going to curve. They're actually going to get this hard line just here. And this one we already kind of done just there, but just kind of reinforce it. It's kind of going to go there. So this is the base kind of sort of structure of the panther faces. So what I'm going to do now, we're just going to turn the transparency down a bit. Just like so. And then I'm going to go to inking. I'm going to use my modified studio pen. If you want a brush that works pretty much identical to this without having to mess around with anything, just go to calligraphy and go to monoline. It basically just draws all the lines the exact same way, so you get a nice solid line. But yeah, I'm going to use my studio pen for this one. Thickness, and I'm going to create a layer above it now. And this layer, I'm going to go black now. So I'm going to get my nice hard outline. So now we've got this, we can go one by one and start refining them. So we've got a basic structure. You can see how all the shapes are still there in each one of these. I just kind of shuffled around to get these different angles. Once you understand what these things are, like this circle being a cheek, you know where to put them, you know how to modify this, and you can make any face shape you want. So just try to remember the key placements. So let's start off with this one. Actually, I'll tell you what, before we do that, I'm just going to go back to the red just for 2 seconds. Just kind of sketch this in here so you know roughly where it's going to go. So where we had the cheek bits there, I'm just going to bring in 1 line, 2 line, 3 line, 4 line. 1, 2, 3, 4 on the outside. So 4 lines here, 4 lines there. It's just going to be the whiskers. It's just going to be a bit easier for you to follow if we do that first. So I'm going to use a nice bold outline for this. So I'm going to zoom in. And I'm going to start here on the nose. So I'm going to bring this line here. So remember, we're this triangle shape. So I'm going to bring this curve like this. Pretty much following this triangle shape. Just add a few little line curves. Just kind of like change it up. So you see it's very much triangular. Just a little bit more detail now. So I basically create this little curve just here. And this little curve just here. Like so. And now we've got that. I'm going to bring that line just down there. And remember, we've done those little loops around. So we're going to do that. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not going to worry about joining this just up yet because I'm going to have this line going here, which I suppose I can just put it now. So you have this line coming across there off the nose. So again, it kind of follows that oval shape we initially done for that part of the mouth. Again, I bring this curved line here. Just go 1, 2, 3, 4. Just like that. So we're kind of putting up our sort of like mouth shape now. Now with panthers, often the mouth is a little bit smaller than the tiger. I've got a nice size on it and I quite like this. You know, if you want to modify, you kind of bring it in a little bit, which you can do. When I modify, I like to use the liquefy tool. So I click on here and liquefy. And this just helps you kind of move your lines a little bit. If you want to just kind of get them in place, if they're just a little bit off, or a little shuffle around, you can kind of use that. And it doesn't pixelate too much. It's a very handy little tool. But yeah, so we've got our nose now. So now we've got that, I'm going to get the teeth, and we go feature by feature. So you got that. And now I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can see those teeth a lot more clearly. Now sometimes you get the teeth closer together if you want. I quite let them farther apart, but a lot of people traditionally, they'll do them a little bit closer on a panther than they will a tiger. It's one of the few little differences you'll see quite common with them. So now we've got that. I'm trying to work out which features kind of sit in front, so which one to go for next. So I'm going to go for this loop on the eye. So I've got this loop. Like so. So remember that sausage shape? So I literally just curved around and followed that. And now we're going to done. I can use that eye shape we've done. But I just want on the bottom part. So the idea is actually kind of sitting over the top of it. And just come from the back here. I'm just going to link this line just to there. You can read this line just down there if you want to. You know, but you don't have to. It's just one of those things because this can be like a different kind of colour to the top part. And if you want more iron show, you can have more iron show. So if you go back, so imagine where that loop was. The further you bring this up, the more the eye you can have on show. So imagine like that. Now you've got a lot more of the eye on show. It's one of the few ways you can kind of like, you know, adjust it. Because remember, once you have the shape, you can modify these things anyhow you want. So now we have this curve around here. I'm going to get the next curve. So I basically want to have another curve that's going to kind of go here. And another one's going to sit just above that eye. So you can have the eye just over there. Just on that corner. You don't always necessarily see this eye and these kind of angles, but I like to put it in there just as an option so you guys can see how it would kind of go. And now we've got that. I'm going to come down to the rest of the mouth. So now we've got a curve like it, and we could just go like this for the outside shape if you want to. A very simple, you know, like easy structure. You can play around with it if you want. You can kind of make it a bit more kind of wiggly. Like so. It depends on the kind of vibe you want to get. You know, or sometimes you can have what I like to do is kind of bring it in. So you kind of get a slight little indent just here and just there. And now, I quite like that, but I want to kind of bring that just a little bit further across, I think. So I'm going to go, yeah, that's good. Just like that. And now we've got that. We've got a base to bring our teeth off of. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the other one's going to go behind it just there. So see, we've got our bottom part of the mouth done now. So now we've got the tongue. Just going to bring this curved line up like this. And this can kind of lead back into the mouth. And then the second over, just over here, you can just bring up that line to curve to the back of the mouth there. So it kind of just fills in that gap. And now we've got a base kind of face shape. We can get this jawline here. So it's going to go around the chin. Like so. So that's a nice kind of line for it. And it's important to remember, because if you get this line slightly wrong, you can sometimes make the face look too fat and stuff. It depends on the kind of look you want to go. You know, generally they're a bit more slim. So imagine if you go like this, it's going to give a much wider face, which gives a very different kind of impact. So imagine this is going to go smaller. See, this is one of the key things that really sort of tell the structure of the face. It's really underestimated. This line is extremely important. So use this to really sort of tell the sort of size of the panther that you want. So I'm going to go over again. So I'm going to create that loop. Just bring that ear bit back just there. And then top of this head is going to bring this line over there to there. So I've done got the neck. Now again, the neck you can just have simple if you want. You can literally just go like this and join this up. So I pretty much follow the same shape. There's nothing wrong with that. But again, depending on how big you make this will depend how strong the neck feels. Now it makes it much wider. It changes the image of the panther a lot. You know, we'll go somewhere roughly in the middle, I think. So I'm going to go there. And you can always do like bump, bump, and then do a secondary line just here. And a bit of shading off it, which can be pretty cool sometimes. Or you can just go simple. It's completely up to you. I'm going to go simple for this one. Just nice classic. The whiskers, a bunch of different ways you can do these ones. So you can go either straight lines, and then you can kind of sort of shade like from here. You can go heavy black and shade into it. You can shade down from these. Or you can kind of make them like sort of V-shape. So like you have this kind of hollow space in between, which makes them stand out. You can do kind of wiggly ones. Like so. It's really up to you and the kind of sort of, vibe you want from it. I'm going to go for the quite stiff straight ones, I think. I'm going to go like this. Just there, and then 1, 2. Now I was going to get our pupil in there. I was going to go for that, and I'm going to select a thinner line. Just go around the outside. And just like that. I always quite like doing that. It just kind of looks cool. And then just try and mimic it on the other side, just over here. Just like so. And once you have that, you can add a few little thin lines if you want. So I'm going to go line just there, kind of sort of tell that shape. You can always put some ones in the whiskers just here, so you often get little dots. You can either have dots coming from these lines or from the center. It doesn't really work if you do both. Once you kind of choose one or the other. So you start big, and it will generally get a bit smaller as you go. And you kind of go on a line well. Yes, it's generally how they're done in like a nice line. Just going to bring in this line just here. So that's the base of one. So now let's go for the other one. Let's go for the one over here. So again, let's start with the nose. So we're going to go like that. Bring that in there. Get a bump of this cheek just here so I can get these nice curves in here. So we've got the initial kind of front of the face. Just bring in this curve just here for this part of the face here. Let's get our eye in there. Gonna bring the line back off the side part just here. And bring that kind of V-shape just in there. It's a nice curve. I like that strong curve. Bring another one just there next to it. And then the other eye can go just here. I might put a little just curve just down the side, just kind of get a little hint of a cheek. So I'm going to bring that eye just up a touch. The other eye's quite in position. Yeah, I quite like that. It's got like a little twist to it. It's got a nice curve. So again, once we have that now, I'm just going to bring in this back curved mouth. So very similar how to do the other one. So I've got a curve here. Now this one, you can make the teeth in line. I want to kind of give a slight twist to the jaw. You often kind of get in this. It's a very stylized way, which I really like. But if you don't want that, you can basically have this go here and basically kind of line up the teeth. So imagine a line here and a line here, and kind of have that as your base for this bottom lip. But you're going to see here, this is what I kind of like to do. It just kind of looks cool with this kind of angle. It doesn't really work with the other angles, in my opinion. But it looks really cool in this one. So we've got teeth. Just going to bring that fang just a back touch. Yeah, there we go. And then you bring this one up, and then again, 1, 2, 3, 4. Just like so. So it's got like a bit kind of like a snarl. It's kind of to the side. It just kind of works. It's a slight kind of more like kind of new school variant, but it's often done with this kind of pose. You know, it's a really fun pose to work with. So again, I'm bringing that jawline just there. So you can see we sort of done that, and again, this really tells the shape. I'm looking at it and I'm thinking this cheek needs to be a little bit wider. So I'm just going to go back and do that one again. Yeah, I like that. You know, you see it just makes this size just much more different now. Now again, I'm going to bring this line just curving off of this. Just going to loop back there. Loop that back like so. Create a little bit for the ear just to, and I'm just going to pick this up just as it goes round. And then again, just like the other one, a nice simpler neck like so. And I'm going to kind of come in, I'm going to get the pupils. Do that the same way. So they're a nice big black pupil. Then an outline, just around the edge. Same on the other side. Just there. And then once you've got that, I'm just going to go to my other line up again. And then our whiskers. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bring the little lines back there if you want, just off of there. So you can see two very different poses there now, which I really like. And then you got this one. Just for a shortcut, you can turn on here, go canvas, drawing guide, edit drawing guide, and you have this symmetry button down the bottom. If you bring this, put this kind of roughly in the middle, and you can draw both sides at the same time. It just saves a little bit of time. Obviously, if you do it on paper, don't worry about that. Just come draw both sides. This just pretty much speeds things up. If it's not working, it's because you don't have assisted on here. So click on this, and then just click Draw and Assist. When it's got Draw and Assist, it basically just means it's using whatever special feature like symmetry or one of those options, it's working. If it's not on there, like the bottom one, it won't do symmetry. If it's on that one, it will, you see? So, very simple. And come back up to there. So again with the nose, I'm going to start with the nose just like the others. Going to create a little curve just there for the nostril, bring that up. Curve it in like so. Bring your line down from the nose. And now we're on here, you can kind of see in the pattern that we're kind of going for it, just how you build up. And once you kind of learn this, it's really easy to draw these. They're really fun, but they are quite easy once you kind of know the formula. So we've got our nose bit just there. And now it's going to create it. Bring in those eyes. So here you see it's curved around that sausage shape. Bring that line just in there. And I quite like how that's worded. That kind of curves there, gone really nice with this curve just here. I really like that. Just add that pupil in there just for now rather than doing it last. Back to my size. Yeah, that's a really nice look. I'm just going to create a little curve just underneath here. Just going to get that bit of the brow. Come down to the teeth. Start in the middle, get another 2. And you can always do 6 to fill the kind of gap if you want, or you can just get a little line just here, which I like to do, and curve there. You know, so yeah, it's just a personal choice really, just kind of like pick whichever one you kind of prefer. Curve like this. I think I'm going to make a little bit of an exaggeration on this kind of bottom here, so I want this kind of come a little bit lower than say here. So we're going to start here a little bit thin. Nothing crazy, just a little exaggeration on the size. Curve that around like so. Now quite like that. Yeah, it's got a nice kind of shape to it. I would normally do the mouth a little bit smaller, but I quite like the line. And a lot of time when you're drawing, it just kind of goes by the line. If you sort of do it and the line kind of makes sense, give it a try and just kind of trust where your lines are going. And trusting the process pretty much. So you've got a tongue here. Just curve back there. I put a little line just in there as well. I like that. Now going from the chin. Same concept as before, so we're going to curve up. Loop around. Have a little look. So look, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, just feels a little bit too on the fat side, so I'm going to bring this in. a touch. Liking that, but just one more. Yeah, I'm liking that one. And now I'm going to get this ear. So I'm going to curve off of that cheek bit just there. Create this line. And on the top of the head, you can pretty much just, I mean, you could just curve like that if you want. You can create a little dip in the middle if you want. Go like that. So you can curve this just towards the edge of the corner bit here so the head gets a bit smaller. You can always create little things like go around here into this little line and then kind of go from there. Now, kind of play around with the shapes and just kind of see what you like. You know, some people like this, but I'm not really too keen on this little bumpy part here, so I don't want that. So what I'm going to do is kind of go like this. Kind of like that, I think. And then we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 whiskers. Add these little ones in there. Did I like these on the side? Well, I can't remember now. I might have to double check in 2 seconds. And the nose is going to be in that line just there. Now I'm just there. Nope, I forgot. I knew I forgot something. You can always tell, because you look here and you're like, yeah, it looks good, but something's just off. Once you say it a few times, you'll just know. Like, if you look here and think something's off, it means you're missing one of the little features. So just put it in there. Again, just like the other ones, get that nose part just in there. There we go. So imagine we turn off that sketch work and we are left with that. But unfortunately, I've done those things on the symmetry tool. So you can see it's drawing those little dots in the nose bit from over there. But do not panic, people. We just click assist, go to the drawing, and you can either go backwards and just do it again, or just rub it out pretty much. This ain't too bad, so I'm just going to rub it out. You know, if it's a bit more kind of complex and really ruining the design and everything, then I might just go backwards. You know, but just kind of make out your mind in your head, you know, what's going to be quicker, just erasing it or going back and just redrawing it. You know, so it really depends on kind of how far you are into it. But yeah, you can see you kind of have those kind of structures. So I'm going to click on this and I'm going to click on this and I'm going to click reference. Make sure we are still recording. And I'm going to create a layer underneath. Now I'm going to go on here. I'm going to go to my favorite one. So I'm going to go into my medium nozzle brush. And I'm just going to go insert, come down to my background. People know me, it's my trademark background. And no, you cannot have it. You know, I'll teach everything else, but this is my trademark. So you will not be having it. I like to put it on top and just set the multiply. I mean, you can just get aged paper, any kind of texture, and just set the multiply over the top. Just kind of give that kind of like layer on the thing. That's pretty much what you want. Just turn it transparent down to about then. And I'm just going to create a layer at the bottom. So now the reference is really important. So I've clicked on this and I've clicked reference, as you noticed. Now it basically means on this layer, now when I use the selection tool, which is up here, and I click automatic, when I click, it's going to select within those line marks. So now I can just shade and target certain areas a lot easier. So yeah, I'm just going to select here to begin with. And I'm going to go for my medium nozzle spray paint tool. And I like to set my opacity down a little bit, so about just maybe a little bit lower than halfway. You can still shade quite quickly, but it just kind of helps you get that blend a little bit easier. So I'm going to go from the edge just there. And I'm just going to keep this motion kind of going. And get me like a nice little kind of highlight just in the middle, just there. I'm going to select this part just here. Now it's important to know that you'll see me, I'm going to use like shading like this from the bottom mainly. And you're going to get this highlight across the bottom. But when I get to the top, I tend to switch roles, so I don't have that gap space at the top. You'll see what I mean as we get to it, but it's just something I want to sort of tell you to kind of like keep an eye out for. It's a personal preference, so whether it be your tasting or not, we shall see. So it's going to bring this dark just around like so. And I want to kind of bring it until we're slowly getting towards those whiskers. Almost I want to touch the edge of them. And I want to kind of go from the bottom one to the top one. So we have this top one and the bottom one. I want to shade right up to those lines. And then what we're going to do is just turn this down ever so slightly, just so we can still see our lines. And what I want to do is basically erase from here. So I'm going to go back to my spray paint tool, just have the same kind of eraser. You can just click and hold the erase button to do that. And we're going to come back like this. So I want this nice and clean on the inside. And then we're going to repeat now Just coming in like this. So I want this kind of fade to go into it. So when we turn this back up, you're going to see, you kind of get this kind of look. Now, this is just one of the ways you can do whiskers. It's one of my favorite ways of doing it. The other ways you can do sometimes, and actually you can sort of like leave a gap around the edge, select an area like this, and basically just like come down from each one. So imagine if we go like that, and like that, and you kind of get this kind of look. It's not my favorite, but when you're doing these kind of line ones, that's kind of how you go about it normally with these kind of line ones. Because the idea is where you haven't got that negative space, because when you done the V-shaped ones, you have that little inside part. You don't have that with these ones, so you kind of lose that. And what I might do is I might just erase this little bit of line just in here, you know, so this is kind of like dominating this area. So again, I'm going to go selection tool, back onto this now. Now what I am going to do is I'm going to kind of quickly come from the top, like this. I'm going to shade like this. And then same method, I want to get my eraser. And I want to erase just up to that line, just there. So you see it now, you go all the way up to the edge here, unlike here. But in this eyebrow bit, I want to do that. And similarly with the ear just over here, you want a little highlight. Nothing too crazy, but if you don't do that, you lose the shape, which is really important. So you need to decide just how much of the shape you want to show. You know, the Panthers are really, really heavy black work, you know, normally. Like, there's not really much on show. So it's really down to personal preference on just how much you want showing. And again, just each one of these, I'm just sort of doing that. And I'm just going to leave a little highlight just around the edge. So it's pretty much pure black all the way to the edge, really. And then again here, don't select the background at the same time. Just a little bit of black just from there, just there. And I might select the nose bit just here, and I'm going to put a little bit just on that little line. Just there. Nothing crazy, just a little bit just there. Now, you can use black if you want to sort of shade in this kind of part. I prefer to use colour for that, so I don't want to use like a sort of soft steel kind of blue. But that's how you do the black and grey on that one. Just going to start the tongue actually, just get a little bit just on the bottom part of the tongue. Nothing crazy, because again, you want the tongue to stand out. So we've got that there. So now we've got that, let's go for this one. So same concept again, so I'm going to bring this right across, heavy black work, and I'm just going to stop at the edge, just there. So you see, you pretty much go all the way and just off the edge. Now again, I'm going to go like this. So I'm going to go black down to the edge. You know, you don't always get in this kind of angle, but I still prefer to do it on this side. I just prefer to get a little highlight just on the eye part, just here. So you see this line, a little line just there, or on that there. Now I would normally try and save a little line around the ear, but I really like how the ear looks with that silhouette just there now. That's a happy little accident, and I really like that, so I'm not going to change that. But the same concept now, so I'm going to bring this up and around, leaving that little highlight edge. Just as we get to the edge of the line, I then just go over the edge of the line. So basically, the line ends up disappearing, because the edge is basically solid black now. So imagine, I'll show you here again. So I'm going to erase from this, and when we get here, you can see like this edge of the line just here. So we're going to bring this up, bring this back. Then once we kind of get just towards the edge of it, I'm then going to go over the edge of the line. So it disappears, but it leaves you with that nice kind of fade, which is what you want. So again, just go over this little part just here. Just so we've got a little hint of where that ear goes, just there. I haven't left much space here. After sort of try to get the outside done first, I'm not overlapping and kind of going over what I just done. And the other option here, which I'm going to do, so when I'm drawing here, it's going onto this part. If you go selection tool, come down to freehand, you can literally just mark out the area you want to do, like so. You know, it's a little bit time consuming clicking around it, but it saves having to deal with the deletion afterwards. So again, just work that up, get that nice kind of fade. I want to get that nice kind of highlight, just like we've done on the other one. So just build it up slowly, and get that nice shine just down the middle. Yeah, I like that. And then again, we're now going to select with the automatic. And I'm going to go right up to the edge of the top whisker, just there. Go down, get this bottom part of the chin. So that bottom part of the whisker. And now there's a fair bit of space here, so you can always leave this highlight here if you want. So I'm going to show you what I mean. So you got this little spot just here, which doesn't have to be sort of black. You know, you can have it like kind of like that. So you got this kind of little highlight on the cheek, or you can black it out. It's really down to personal preference. I'm probably going to black it out because it's going to match up that way, so they're all kind of sort of similar. And then again, I basically want to erase up to this hard edge. And it's really important because if you don't kind of get right up to this hard edge on the inside part here, you kind of lose that top and bottom whisker, which we don't want to do. See, because when it's kind of soft around the outside, you kind of lose it. You know, I want to lose the outside part just here. You know, this is intentional. We want to lose this part. But I don't want to lose that top and bottom on it. Very, very important. Select inside that mouth. Nothing crazy, just a little bit of black. Again, I might, just in a second, just erase a little bit where that kind of like the whisker kind of overlaps there on the inside part of the mouth. And possibly there. It's one of those ones you have to sort of just look at when you're doing, just kind of see if it looks better with or without. But that's the base bit there. So now I'm going to come back to it and I'm just going to have a quick look and just kind of see. So imagine that's how it looks with it. But what you can always do, we go to our pen tool and there's a bit of a neater edge, just makes it a bit easier. And just see how it looks. So if you imagine that's how it'd be if we eliminate the inside tongue part. And then if we was to erase this part, which I'd have to redo a bit of the shading because obviously we do the selection, it doesn't go over the line work. But it's trying to work out whether you feel it looks better with or without. So imagine that's with it that way. And I quite like that, to be fair. So like I said, there is no right and wrong. Both work, both are fine to do. So don't feel like it's something which, you know, is going to ruin your design. It's not going to. You know, the easiest way to do it sometimes is just to erase that part back a little bit and then just come over it. But you see, it just kind of gives like a nice clean finish that way. You know, it's traditional, so you can kind of do that. We're not looking for realism. So, yeah, I like that. I think I'm going to do the same thing just up on this one now as well. So again, just going to go click on there, go to the pen. And this one's not as much to do. It's just literally just this little line from the gun bit there. And that little corner just there. Yeah, I like that. I like that very much. You can also go in reverse for this as well. So imagine if we go back to the shading and I was to select the spray paint tool again, I could select the outside this time. I could go like this. I could go like this. And kind of play around with it. Basically, it's now the negative version. So as we're there, it's white on the inside. Here, it's black on the inside. Like that. Which I quite like. I think it's a little bit too intense. So I'm going to like reduce it as such. But just a smidge. Yeah, I like that. Cool, and then we come down to the bad boy down the bottom. So again, we are going to click on this and I'll click draw and assist just so it does both sides at the same time. So this one's going to be a bit simpler because the lines kind of like make more sense. And when we come here, that whisker, I haven't got to worry about raising this stuff because this line cuts through here, so it basically blocks that bit off for me. So that saves me a little bit of time. And I'm going to go selection tool, freehand. I'm just going to quickly select around this part, just like so. When you're doing this, just every now and again, make sure you release the pen off, because if you accidentally make the wrong thing and you go back a step, you're going to go all the way back. So just every now and again, just release the pen. Yeah, make your life a lot easier. So I'm going to go like that. And this one, I'm going to leave a little highlight just in the center. You don't always have to, but I like a little highlight just there. I just think it looks really nice. So definitely give it a go. I'm just going to select there, and I'm going to select that second one just there as well. So again, I'm just bringing it the same way we did before. And then I'm just going to erase, whoops, way too big. Just so we kind of get a bit of a hard edge. Just on there. And then just go over the edge, just to blend it down again. Dead simple. And now we've got that done. Just going to get a bit of black just inside this eyebrow bit. And I'm going to go like this, I think. Just so I can get this little bit just here inside the eyebrow. Don't worry about that being pitch black because we are now going to go over that. And remember, on the top part, I like to go over the top. I just think it looks good. And then we get inside mouth parts. Just a little bit there, a little bit there. Just a little bit on the bottom of the tongue, just there. And then a little bit just in there. And lastly, I might just put a little bit in these. It's just like the side kind of gummy bits. But there we have people. That's 3 really cool panthers. So now we're done. Now it's going to add the last bit, which is a bit of colour, which is just really dead quick. So we're going to sort of go select the tongue to tongue. Just get a nice red. Put some red in that tongue. Some red in this one. Then I'm going to select a few little key points, so just those little bits just around the eyes, the ears. So those bits there will be solid red. And then the ear, I'm not going to have quite solid, I'm going to actually go very strong. And then pretty much like we've done with the shading, kind of leave that little highlight on the outside edge. So just that. Just that. And I'm going to select our mouth. Now, you can choose it. I like to go for yellow. Yellow is my standard go-to. But some people do it in blues, greens. Really play around with them and see which one you prefer. And then I'm going to select my eyes. Should be yellow. Sometimes I like to put a little highlight in them, so I might just shrink it down a touch. Like a lighter tone. It's like a nice light yellow. And just put a little highlight in there sometimes. You know, sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. Looking at, yeah, I don't really feel it needs it. I quite like the boldness without it. Now I'm just going to select that. Going to select the inside mouth bits just here. Oh, excuse me. Now again, this is a personal preference. I like doing these bits in the purple. It's not always necessarily a traditional colouring for it. You know, most panthers will just literally just be like 2 colours, which is pretty much just yellow and red. But I like my purple, especially like a kind of lilac-y, sort of like dull purple. You know, it hasn't got to be strong. And lastly, I'm just going to select the nose. Well, I say lastly, I've got one more thing after this, but I'm going to go red from the bottom. And I'm literally just going to fade that up. That's all. Just like that. And just a last little option if you want, like I said, you know, I like like this kind of sort of light steel blue, where it's almost grey. And just coming in from those centre lines just there. Just whip them in. Just over those dots pretty much. Just follow those dots. Let those dots kind of be your guideline. Like I said, just do it there. Like I said, it's very subtle. It's just in replace of the grey. And the teeth I normally just kind of have as they are. But there we are, people. That's how you draw a panther from 3 different angles. I hope you liked it. If you have, make sure you like it. Make sure you subscribe. I've got plenty of other videos. If you draw these or share on social media and tag me in, I love seeing what you guys do. So just tag me, The Broken Puppet. I love seeing what you do. I often comment. I like. Yeah, I love seeing what you guys do with these. But for now, people, I'm The Broken Puppet, and I'll see you next time. Peace.